Nagel here for Pro Boxing fans. Delighted to be joined on a video call today with Liam Williams. Liam, how's it going?
You what?
How's it going? How's
Yeah,
life
yeah,
back in
all good,
Wales?
mate. All good. Just been a bit lazy this morning. I haven't got to bed long, and it's 12:20 now, so pretty bad, really. But yeah, I'm alright. I'm getting by, mate. Just doing what I can, and little bits of training here and there. Just trying to stay on track, ready for when it all blows over.
Yeah, I mean,
Soon, hopefully.
you don't really strike me as a guy who likes particularly being inside and not in the gym. How are you sort of coping with all of this?
It's driving me insane, mate. Like it's it's proper driving me nuts. I can't stay still for 5 minutes, whether I'm indoors, outdoors. I can't even watch a film properly because I can't sit still long enough. Um, so like it's hard, but I'm just trying to do a couple of runs and I've been doing a couple of circuits in the house and stuff. Um, I've done a circuit, didn't finish till like 9 o'clock last night, and my living room was just covered in sweat all over the tiles. Like I got tiles all over my floor. Yeah, it was, mate. You won't believe it was dripping. Yeah,
Are you living with on your own, or you've got family with you?
yeah. I'm on my own. Yeah.
Okay.
So but yeah, like I'm jumping in the car every 10 minutes. I'll just do a little drive for 5-10 minutes. Come back, sit down. I'll have an hour, and I'll go again.
Yeah. So you're keeping yourself active. I mean, what sort of an average day would you say? I mean, I saw, I think Frank Warren tweeted out you on the Wii Sports yesterday, done a bit of shadow boxing. What sort of an average day?
Um, I don't know. To be honest with you, that's what I hate about it really, because I got no routine.
Hmm.
When I have routine, I'm happy. Like I'm I'm chilled. I know what's coming. I know what I need to eat to fuel myself if I'm training and all that kind of stuff. Um, Whereas now, that's why I've been so lazy today, because I had 2 hard sessions yesterday. I didn't need to get out of bed this morning. I was just like, what am I getting up for?
Hmm.
You know, it stayed on me.
I mean,
I am.
how
I
much
can't
contact have you
sleep
had
properly. I
with
need a
Dom?
haircut, but I mean, it's just like, honestly, it varies each day because I don't know what's coming.
I mean, how much contact have you had with your trainer Domingo?
I spoke to him a couple of times. I spoke to him, like, we got a group chat with all the lads from the gym where normally Dom arranges our sessions and stuff, but we've all been on there having bits of banter, and we just send Dom whatever we've been doing so he can keep track and stuff. Um, yeah, just all that really. He hasn't really given me anything specifically to follow, because Dom knows that I'm the type of guy which I'll do something with myself, and whether it be boxing or just a bit of cardio or whatever. So he knows that I'm not going to go too far off the rails, I think.
Hmm. I mean, but how hard is it to sort of maintain weight during this period? Because I know you're obviously preparing for a fight which we'll get onto that seemed in the works. But how hard is it to maintain sort of nutrition at this time? Obviously, you're saying it's hard to train. How is it hard to remain focused, as you say, like getting up this morning? There's nothing to really motivate you. So how do you sort of
Yeah.
keep that motivation?
Um, it's very tough at the moment, to be honest with you, because I could not end up fighting till July, August, September. Who knows? I don't really know.
Mm.
So, like, if it's difficult, like, if I feel like I need a bit of shit, like, I'm trying to talk myself out of it, but then there's like there's two sides of me fighting with each other. One saying, "Oh, fuck it, have it, because you're not going to be fighting for months, blah 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 blah," and then the other one's going, "No, you shouldn't do that because a fight could come sooner than what he thinks." And it's difficult, but I've been pretty good, to be fair. If I do have a bad day, I'll just get up the next day and I'm like, right, it's made the effort to overturn that, and I'll be on it, like, and I'll train hard, and so I do feel like I've been keeping a decent balance, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it did look likely that this fight with Demetrius Andrade was going to happen. Obviously, the mandatory. How close was that fight to being finalised?
I think he was either 1 or 2 days away from being finalised from the deadline, so it had to be done. But obviously, then all this come about, and everything just seemed to kind of shut down overnight, really, didn't it? But yeah, I'm not too bothered because I'm mandatory. I know the fight is going to happen next. Yeah. Even if it doesn't end up being with Andrade, even if he chooses to do something else, I'm mandatory, so I'm fighting for that title next, whether it be him, Munguia. I hope it's him because I want to take it off. I want to take a belt off a champion, So yeah, it's one of them where it's just and see what unfolds.
I mean, is it a benefit in any way having this, perhaps a bit of extra time to prepare? Or were you just sort of, I mean, I know you're ready to fight him whenever, but does it give you bit of extra time? Is that a benefit or a disadvantage?
No, to be totally honest with you, if anything, it's probably a little bit of a disadvantage because where I was in Sheffield training twice a day, dieting, fucking smashing everything on point, like I had everything planned out. Whereas I'm here, I'm a bit up in the air. Don't get me wrong, I'm training, I'm fit, but just going back to what I said earlier, it's just a bit hard to keep the focus as much as I would be if I was away from everybody and whatever,
Yeah, I mean, I saw he was on Instagram Live with Eddie Hearn the other day, and when he was asked when Eddie Hearn asked him about a fight with you, he said, and I quote, "He's not going to be the one to stop this train." What sort of your, thoughts on that, and perhaps a message to Demetrius Andrade?
Yeah, I don't really know what to say. He knows he doesn't want to fight me. He's been backed into a corner where he's in this position where he has to fight me now. And if I'm totally honest with you, I'm still not convinced he's going to fight me. I think he might even ditch the belt and move up, fight somebody else. But that's just my opinion. Whether anybody else, agrees or whatever, I don't know. But let's be honest. Everybody's saying about Demetrius Andrade being feared. No one wants to fight him. Nobody wants a part of him. I don't see nothing in him. I just see a rangy southpaw who's a bit awkward at times. And I'll steamroll him. I'll smash him to bits.
I mean, where do you rank him in terms of the other champions? You've got Jamal Charlo, Golovkin. Where does Demetrius Andrade rank for you in terms of the world champions?
So who have you got? Canelo?
Jamal Charlo.
Yeah, Charlo.
And Triple G.
Andrade. He's got to be the worst, isn't he? But I don't know, though, I think Golovkin's there for the taking now.
Is that a fight that interests you as well? Or
I'd love that fight. I'd ditch the Andrade fight to fight him.
I mean, what do you sort of see as the whole situation? It's obviously so hard to tell because it looked like Canelo was going to fight Billy Joe Saunders, but then there's talk of Canelo fighting Golovkin in a third fight. Obviously all the champions do want to unify at some point, but where do you sort of see the whole situation?
It's difficult, really, because all this stuff now. Excuse me. All this stuff now has kind of put a spanner in the works, and but you don't know because Billy Joe's had his license suspended. Whether that'll affect the fight, I don't really know. Hopefully, Billy Joe still gets that fight because if he doesn't, they could throw a spanner in the works for me as well. Because Andrade could end up jumping to fight Billy Joe. I don't know. So it could all change overnight. You know what I mean? But it just depends. But either way, as it's going back, like I don't really care because I'll either fight him or I'll probably end up fighting Munguia. And they both fights I'm very confident in winning. I think Munguia it'd be a fight for the fans, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Have violence written all over it.
I mean, what do you see as the harder fight, would you say, between Munguia and Demetrius Andrade?
They're both opposite sides of the scale, really, because Andrade's obviously very awkward and slippery, and he'd be hard to pin down and really stick it on. Whereas Munguia's going to be there. He's going to be there to hit. Who knows? He could go knock him out a round. Otherwise, it could be a 12-round slugfest, and really have to dig in. And so I probably think Munguia would be the harder fight, because it'd be more of a battle of. It wouldn't just be a technical fight, It comes down to heart, fitness, everything to go along with it,
I mean,
he brings high intensity today.
Absolutely. I mean, just touching on your win over Lantis Fox, we spoke a bit about it in February, I believe. But how much confidence has that given you? Because it was kind of that fight, on the cusp of, I guess, world level that you probably needed. So how much confidence with knocking out someone like Lantis Fox, who has been the distance with Andrade before, how much confidence did that give you?
Yeah, you gotta take each fight forward, isn't it? But it didn't change me any more than it hasn't really made me believe too much more than I already did, because I was confident anyway. But I think I proved a lot to other people rather than myself, in terms of, obviously, he's gone the distance with Andrade. He's gone the distance with Andrade. I went and stopped him in, 5 rounds, I think.
Does that matter, or is it just styles make fights, would you say?
I would say so, yeah. And I could take all the credit for it and say, I'm a lot better than Andrade. I stopped him at 5, went distance with him. But you have to be realistic. It's not. Styles make fights, don't they? Andrade physically couldn't have done to him what I went and done to him, because of the styles. But you're only as good as your last performance, I believe, and mine was very good. Andrade's was okay against Keeler, very wild and erratic, I would say. And I just know full well if he comes and brings that same kind of performance against me, he's going to come round on his back.
I do just want to touch on something that Bob Arum's mentioned. Obviously, during this period, no boxing, no real idea on when fights are going to happen. The possibility of fighting behind closed doors. What's your thoughts on that?
I'd rather not, really, to be honest with you, because I fight behind closed doors all the time in the gym. Do you know what I mean? I want people screaming. I want fans. I want people, people to be there to witness me winning a world title. I don't want to win a world title in, some little place with no spectators. If it comes to the crunch, then I'm not going to turn it down. But it's not really what I want.
I mean, I suppose for you, obviously, you're close to a world title shot, but for these small hall fighters, we spoke to sort of Josh Kelly the other day. He sort of said maybe there should be some funding, especially for small hall fighters. What's your thoughts on that? Obviously, testing times at the moment. Yeah,
there should be funding for us all. Give me some too. But no, I don't know. It is what it is, isn't it? Like, don't get me wrong. People who were probably not too long starting out and stuff, it's obviously going to be very difficult for them if they haven't got jobs and they got families to look after and whatever. So it is very difficult, and maybe there should be some kind of funding put in place. But then on the other hand, we chose to be boxers. We chose, it could all end for us tomorrow with an injury. So it's like, I don't know. I don't really know what to say on that. It's difficult, but obviously everybody's going to struggle now.
I just do want to touch on your stablemate, Kell Brook. There's been some rumours of him potentially facing Terence Crawford. What's your thoughts on that fight?
Yeah, I honestly probably don't know any more than you. I've heard him talking about the fight, obviously in the gym and whatever. But I don't know. I've heard it's very close, and that's honestly not even from anybody in the gym, or I've been seeing online and stuff. Like, his business and his negotiations through his business. Do you know what I mean? So, but I'm sure when something is getting close or something's possibly done, then we'll be the first ones to know. But I think it's a good fight. I think Kell's got a lot more left in the tank than what people think he has. He's very, technically very good. Always very fit. And he can punch. I think he's got a chance with anybody. He's not done yet, I can assure you.
And your ex-stablemate, you did mention earlier, Billy Joe Saunders, had his licence suspended this week for releasing that video. What were your thoughts on the situation?
To be honest with you, I watched it and I found it funny. I'm just being straight up here but I know Billy Joe and I know how he thinks, and in a way, I wouldn't have put that video up, but like I said, I found it funny, and that's the kind of thing I would do in terms of, like I just said to you, I can't stay still. I'm just trying to do something to make people laugh and make a bit of light to the situation. And he didn't mean any harm by that video. Everybody knows that, I think. But I think the board have got to take action because, in a way, it is kind of encouraging. Although he weren't, it is kind of encouraging domestic violence and whatever else. So I would have done a video like that if I was just sending it to the boys, maybe for a little crack or something. But Billy Joe being Billy Joe, he just doesn't care. Like I would have known never to put that on social media because you're just going to get smashed for it. But I honestly don't believe he meant any harm by that. He was just trying to have a crack and make a little bit of light to the situation,
And I didn't get to catch up with you after Wilder Fury. I believe you were out there, but I didn't see you. But what were your thoughts on that? I mean, you said to me in an interview I did with you before that you wouldn't be shocked if Fury stopped Deontay Wilder. So, what was your thoughts on it all?
Well, I didn't think he was going to go the distance this time. Like I said to you, I thought I wouldn't be surprised if for Fury, I just think it was kind of one of them fights where he's done all his talking, he's done, he says this, says that. I think it was kind of shit or bust for him. He either goes, just gives it his all, either knocks him out or gets knocked out. I think it was one of them fights for Fury. And I think he was willing to lose. He's willing to risk losing to become the star he has, although he was anyway. Now, after that fight, he's the man, isn't he? I think it was, like I said, shit or bust. I think he was willing to go and risk getting himself knocked out to put on that performance he did.
I mean, how would you see a future fight? Obviously, a lot of people talking about Fury and Joshua meeting. How would you see a future fight between those two playing out? It's tough to call.
I don't think it's tough to call.
You don't?
I think Fury plays with him, schools him, embarrasses him. Don't get me wrong, I rate Joshua, and especially after his last performance, he was fantastic. But I just think he's just got that something which heavyweights don't have. He's the movements and you look at his body frame and everything else, you just think, how can this fat guy do that? You know what I mean? He's outstanding, isn't he? He's very good. I love him, mate.
And last one, I think I saw that you were in the Wildcard gym. What was that like? Obviously, famous gym. Have you been there before? And what was that all like?
It was the first time in this on this trip we just went. I went there with Barry, Kid Galahad.
Yeah.
We had a wicked time the first time we went there. Freddie was away somewhere. I'm not sure if he was with a fighter or taking a break or whatever. But so we just had a little knock around on the bags, and I actually done a bit of pads with the little Filipino guy who takes Pacquiao.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know his name, but I done pads with him, and it was good really because I was blasted his hands. And I remember him saying he was like, shaking his hands, and he was like, "Fuck, no more, no more." My hands were them. And I thought, well, I got to take. I know it's only a little compliment, but I thought you got to take as gone when he works at Pacquiao. I think he's used to work with Cotto a little bit and stuff like that, so it's good. But
did you do any sparring or?
Nah, no sparring. I wasn't ready really. I was just kind of taking over.
Yeah.
So we went back there as well, and Freddie was there the second time. Obviously, he knows Barry because Barry fought his fighter. What was the final eliminator he boxed in against? Someone from Freddie's gym who Freddie trains. Tonka Khan.
Okay, yeah. Before the Warrington fight.
Yeah, before the Warrington fight. I believe Freddie was training him, or still does, I don't know. But obviously we went there and he knew Barry. So he took us downstairs, like there's two gyms here. I think all the proper sparring that he brings in and everything, he takes them downstairs out of the way, away from the public, so but he took us down and we had a good chat to him. He's very nice, give us tape, give us bandages, couldn't do enough for us, but I wanted to do pads with him, but he tore his bicep.
Oh no.
Not so long before, so he showed me and it did look and they were messed up too. So
I mean, did he give you any sort of tips and advice? Because obviously in the UK your coach is Dominic Ingle, train world champions and stuff, and now you're in Freddie Roach's gym. I mean, all this, advice, tips, only going to help you when you do fight for a world title, perhaps.
Yeah, he didn't really say a great deal, to be honest with you, because I think probably more to do with the fact that he knew Barry and he knew Dom was our trainer, and I just don't think he wanted to impose himself. He didn't want to. He just thought, just be kind to him, help him out whatever I can, and leave him crack on, because it's like I don't really think Dom cares too much. Like, you're either happy training with him, or if you want to go, feel free to go. Dom's got that kind of mentality, but a lot of trainers don't like other trainers trying to slip and slide their way in and poach him, basically. But no, he didn't really get involved too much. He was just a nice fella and helped us out,
Great stuff, Liam. Thank you very much for giving us your time today. What's your sort of final message to the public at the moment? Obviously, NHS is doing a brilliant job, and but there's a lot of people suffering out there at the moment.
Yeah, there is. It's difficult what to say, really. Just I just think people really need to take note of what's going on now and take it seriously, because there's people dying and people really ill, so and touching on what you said about the NHS and everything, what can you say? They're doing a fantastic job, aren't they? So just keep up the good work, and I don't know about everybody else, but I certainly appreciate everything.
Absolutely. Liam, thank you very much. Hopefully we'll get some big fight news soon when this all calms down.
100%, mate, yeah. Brilliant. I'm going back to bed.
Cheers, mate.
Not really. Not, mate.
Take care.